So the new year is just around the corner, and you know what that means? The pressure is on for that total life overhaul. But what if that whole new year, new me thing is actually designed to make you fail? Today, we're going to talk about why you shouldn't lock all your big ambitions into one single year, and how a much smaller daily approach can lead to absolutely massive change. Does this look familiar? Yeah, I thought so. The calendar flips over and bam, suddenly there's this huge expectation to become a completely different person. It's like this yearly ritual where we feel overwhelmed before we've even started, just frozen, staring at the sheer size of our own goals. And that feeling, it leads us right into the new year, new me trap. It's this all or nothing mindset that, let's be honest, almost always ends in failure. The idea that you can be one person on December 31st and then, a superhero 24 hours later, it's a fantastic marketing slogan, but it is a terrible strategy for actual growth. So first up, let's dive into what I'm calling the resolution trap. We're going to break down why those huge, ambitious goals we set just fizzle out so often. Okay, here's the secret. The reason big resolutions fail isn't because you lack willpower, it's biology. Our brains are literally hardwired for safety, and that means they love familiar patterns. So when you try to make a massive, sudden change, your brain sees it as a threat, and it fights back. It's kind of like trying to do a U-turn with a giant cargo ship. It just wasn't built to move like that. So if the giant leap is out, what's left? What's the alternative? Well, it's a totally different way of thinking about it. It's called the 1% blueprint. And this isn't about a revolution, it's about evolution. Let's look at this side by side, okay? The old way over on the left, that's the giant, intimidating wall. It's all about intensity, going hard from day one. But the new blueprint on the right is about small, daily experiments. You're not looking up at this impossible wall. You're just focused on laying one tiny, stackable block. The focus completely shifts from intensity to pure, simple consistency. So what are these tiny blocks? We call them micro-routines, and the most important part of this definition is that last little phrase, too small to fail. Just think about that for a second. What if you set a goal that was literally too small to fail? That is where the magic really happens. So how do you actually start? It is so simple. First, you pick one tiny action. And I mean tiny. Not read a book every week, but read one single page. Not hit the gym for an hour, but do one push-up. Step 2, you practice it every day by attaching it to a habit you already have. Like right after you brush your teeth, you do that one push-up. And step 3, this is the most important part. You just focus on showing up. The goal isn't to have an amazing workout. The goal is just to build the habit of being consistent. This quote right here, it just sums up the whole idea perfectly. Success is built with tiny blocks, not giant walls. I mean, think about it. You don't build a house by trying to lift the entire thing at once, right? No, you lay it brick by brick, block by block. And your goals, your habits, they're exactly the same. Now, all of this sounds really good in theory, but there is some fascinating science that explains why it works so well. Let's actually look at what is going on inside your brain when you take this kind of approach.
This is the real question, isn't it? Why does doing one single push-up a day have more long-term power than this massive goal of getting shredded in 30 days? What is actually happening up here?
The answer, and this is so cool, is a concept called neuroplasticity. Basically, it's just your brain's ability to change and reorganize itself by creating new pathways. Think of it like this. Imagine you're walking through a grassy field. The first time, it's tough, but the more you walk that exact same path, the clearer and easier it gets. Well, repetition literally, physically rewires your brain in the same way. So every single time you do that micro-routine, read that one page, do that one push-up, you are strengthening a specific neural pathway. You are walking that grassy path again. And over time, that behavior becomes more and more automatic. It takes less conscious effort. You're not just relying on motivation anymore, you're building the habit right into your brain's hardware. All right, so we've covered the psychology and the neurology. Now, for the last and maybe the most powerful piece of this whole puzzle, the simple, undeniable math of growth. We're talking about the power of compounding. 1%. That's it. It seems like nothing, right? It's so small, maybe even insignificant. But this tiny number, it holds the key to absolutely extraordinary results. So just imagine this. What if, instead of that 100% overnight transformation, you just tried to get 1% better each day? For the first few days, or honestly even the first few weeks, you probably wouldn't notice a thing. The change would be almost impossible to see. But this is where the math just gets wild. Look at this. If you stay the same, a year later, well, you're still the same. No shocker there. But if you get just 1% better every day, after 90 days, you're already more than twice as good. And after a full year, that tiny daily effort compounds until you are nearly 38 times better. That is the insane, explosive power of consistent small gains. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. The results are not immediate. They aren't linear. At first, they're barely visible at all. They are exponential. The really big gains happen late in the game, and that is why showing up every day, consistency, is everything.
So, what is the big takeaway here? What do you do with all this information? It's actually really simple. You just need to reframe how you see the new year entirely. So instead of seeing 2026 as this one single high-stakes moment, try to see it as 365 individual opportunities. It is not one giant wall you have to somehow conquer. It's just 365 chances to lay one single, tiny, manageable block. So I'm going to leave you with this final question. Forget the giant year-long plan for just a second. What is your 1% for today? What is the one tiny block that you can lay right now?